After solving a test, what is the next most important thing that should be done? Analyzing which questions went wrong. Taking a note of all the MCQs that went wrong and understanding what kind of mistake was it. Was it a factual mistake, conceptual mistake, or a silly mistake? This may take 30 minutes extra after each exam, but these 30 minutes will make every exam 10 times more valuable. So step 1 is to identify the type of mistake. There are mainly 3 types of mistakes: factual mistake, conceptual mistake, and silly mistake. Let's understand each of them and how you can correct them. So first one is factual mistakes. These happen when you simply don't know the information. For example, in anatomy, you don't remember the muscle action or you don't remember the nerve root. So in these kinds of mistakes, you need to just go through the information again. You need to reread that topic. Next is conceptual mistakes. Now these happen when the understanding of the topic is not clear. You might know the topic, but the concept behind it is not clear. For example, you got confused between active and passive insufficiency of muscles. Or if a question is asked, how is the scapulohumeral rhythm affected in a patient with adhesive capsulitis? For this, you need to first know the normal scapulohumeral rhythm. Only then will you be able to understand how is it affected in patients with adhesive capsulitis. So in such kinds of mistakes, you need to go back and read that topic. You need to understand that topic again. Last is a kind of mistake which we often make. These are silly mistakes. These are avoidable errors that can be avoided. We tend to know the answers of these questions, but we are either in a hurry, we don't read the question properly, we click the wrong option. So the only way to get rid of these kinds of mistakes is to make sure that you do not rush while reading the question. Take time to read the question twice, understand what the examiner is asking, and while answering the question, while selecting the option, you have to be careful. Now, after you have analyzed what mistakes you have made, you need to write them down in a notebook. You need to make a mistake notebook where after solving each test, you write down what questions went wrong, what was the correct answer, what type of mistake was it, and what did you learn from it. And you don't stop here. You make a routine, you make a schedule so that you keep revising this book again and again. Why? Because your brain forgets what it doesn't review regularly. So if you just note down these mistakes in your notebook and don't revise it, you are likely to repeat that mistake again. But if you keep revising what mistakes you've made, your brain will understand that these are the weak areas. Next time I have to be careful with these kinds of questions. Next time I have to be careful while reading the question. I don't have to rush. I have to be vigilant while selecting the options. So each mistake will act as a feedback only if you keep coming back to it.